Hey everybody, this is GaysideStories. I am your host, Trilificent. This is where the gay shit goes, if you did not know. I mean, technically it's where the LGBT shit goes, but where the gay shit goes just sounds better. RIP to Gay Shit Goes here from Twitter from long ago. If you were on Twitter at the time and you used to deal with that catfish, you know what I'm talking about. But this is not about that. This is about this show. Speaking of, remember to use the hashtag GaysidePod when you're live tweeting or you're posting about the show on Instagram or Facebook. I want to thank everyone that listens to the show and shares the show. And I want to welcome the new listeners. Like I have been seeing the new subscribers on SoundCloud, and the numbers are looking pretty good, better than I expect. But you know, I don't know. I'm always looking like people actually listen to the show. Yuck. So yeah, welcome to the new listeners, and I want to welcome a returning guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Brandon Sicard. You can call me Brandon for short, of course. Let's do that.
So, welcome back, friend of the show, friend of the pod.
Thank you.
You guys, if you've been listening to the show for a long time, you'll remember Brandon from episode, I want to say 18, where we talked about dating. And now we are here, and we're going to chop it up again. So, let's get started. First up is the School and Life segment. So I'm going to go first. Just as a quick reminder, you guys, the School and Life is something that I like to highlight with my guests that just says what helped me get through the past week. Either something specific like a song or maybe a show, maybe going out with your friends, therapy, or it could be something that you're looking forward to. So this week, what got me through the week was looking forward to therapy. And it was specific because there's been a lot that's been going on in my life in the past month. And the other reason is because my lead / wannabe boss or whatever the fuck she is at work, she tried me this week. Either she tried me or my patient. I just had a week of patients that was like, you know what, we going on vacation, sis. I don't know what you're going to do. So we got into it pretty heavily, and I was probably rude, but you know what? At the end and middle and beginning of the day, fuck that lady because fuck her. So I was looking forward to going to therapy so I could talk about that a little bit, talk about I haven't been to my therapist in a month, so I was talking about my hospital stay and all of that stuff. Some other things going on, and it was just a good session. I just went to therapy earlier today on the day we're recording, and I feel pretty good. I have some what's the word? I feel like, you know, I have some trials ahead of me, but I feel relatively prepared to go through it. And shout out to my therapist. He's a real one. So what about you, Brandon?
So one thing I've been looking forward to this week was actually today. I usually run around a lot on the weekends with errands, and I'm going to, you know, parties or going out to hang out with friends. And today was probably the first day this year, if not maybe since I want to say early last fall, that I just, you know, sat at home and Netflixed and chilled by my damn self. I haven't done anything all day, and this was something that was much needed.
Since last fall. Whew.
Yeah. I'm always on the go.
I can only dream of having that kind of go and energy because, you know, we're all built differently. And
oh, yeah.
I was not blessed with the always got to be doing something gene. Shout out to everyone who was, because I'm one of those. I mean, I can be in the bed for 3 days. Like, it's nothing. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to interact with the outside world. Probably not the best way to live life. I'm just saying I'm no stranger to that. So shout out to you for taking it easy and giving yourself a break. It's necessary.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're gonna keep it moving. So let's get into the come quick segment.
I'm gonna come, sir.
Oh yeah. So first and foremost, you'll appreciate this. Happy birthday to Josh Jinx. Not sure if he listens to the show, if he'll ever hear this, but happy birthday nonetheless. None the same.
Happy birthday, Josh. He's actually one of my friends. We were talking about going out tonight, so we'll see about that. But yeah, happy birthday, Josh. I'll make sure to forward this to him.
Cool. Next up, Twitter poll time. So this week on Twitter, I asked this following. Would you take a pill to change your sexuality if you could? And the answers were hell to the yes or hell to the no. So with a whopping 79%, hell to the no was the winner. And obviously the hell to the yes was 21%. I feel like a lot of, I don't know, maybe a lot of heterosexual women took it and a lot of gay men took it. And the gay men were like, why would I trade this to be straight? Like, that shit is terrible. You know? And I just agree. Like, I shout out to all the heterosexuals, but I'm gonna be honest, especially online, y'all make that shit look awful. Y'all make it look awful, and then y'all have the ability to get pregnant, and that is a whole nother level of shit. Then y'all be wanting to get it's y'all make it look terrible. Like, y'all make heterosexuality look the fuck awful.
Listen, I follow that account on Twitter. What is it? 6 Brown Chicks, where they post those daily scenarios. Mercy. And I really sit at my desk at work just blinking, like, so all of this is going on, like, in your life right now.
Awful. And I used to look at that and be like, there's no way this is real. They're making this up. But then when you sit and you think about just all of the scandals on Twitter of real people that you know are going through shit, you'd be like, you know what? The 6 Brown Chicks questions are really not that, they're really not that far-fetched. Because y'all
Although, I did hear somebody trying to be funny on Twitter once say that if you think about it, 6 Brown Chicks could potentially be Tyler Perry doing undercover market research on Twitter.
Well, there's a lot of places where Sister Mary Tyler Perry probably could be doing his market research, to be quite honest. And 6 Brown Chicks could be one of them.
You never know.
A lot of crazy scenarios on there. But again, I'm like, between just Twitter stuff and listening to letters from the read, I'm like, you know, I don't put anything past anybody, because especially when it's the men's letters or their questions, man. Because they be like, those men be terrible. But you know that straight men do that stuff. Be like, well, you know, me and my side piece are getting along great, but my wife is getting in the way. How to get my wife to leave me and my side piece alone? And you be like, what? But that, you know, that's a real scenario. And some of them be crazy, be like, you know, I stole her tax return and now she got the nerve to call the police on me. How to get her to be happy with the fact that I took her money and I'm not buying her anything. And you be like, no, that's crazy. Then you be like, well, these niggas are trash.
Listen, if people can still go on Catfish to this day, and I think this most recent season is like season 7 or 8. I don't put anything past anybody at this point.
Yeah, and Catfish is real. Like, it's almost every day that I'm scrolling through Instagram, liking pictures of fine niggas, and they post a picture of somebody with a fake account of them trying to scam people out of money. Because, you know, the current scam is that pay for my live show. Don't you want to see me gyrating in my kitchen or some shit? And people fall for that stuff, and they give those people money and then they block them. But they use, you know, popular, good-looking Twitter people's Instagram people's accounts to do that. And it's like, y'all are out here scamming, y'all out here catfishing, y'all doing everything but living a good, wholesome life. And I'm confused.
I actually got catfished myself last year. I did not. I haven't told too many of my friends about this, but I did do like a post. If you scroll back, if you know what my Instagram is, and I'm sure Trill was shared at the end of the episode. But if you go back sometime last year, I talked about the guy I was dating at the time actually reached out to me. We were talking, and he's like, "So, are you on any like apps or anything?" And I'm like, "Well, no. I haven't been on." So I'm going to show my age here. I think the last thing I was on was like Adam for Adam back in like 2010. But anyway,
okay,
he says, right. He said somebody apparently stole an image off of my Instagram page and had my name up, had my age, had stats. He said some of the stats were incorrect. But I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, your friend found this? And I said, no, that's not me. And it actually wasn't me. But trust me, it happens.
Yeah, that's what they do. They steal people's pictures and create fake profiles on Jacked and shit. But I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how we got way off topic. But so let me ask you, would you take a pill to change your sexuality if you could?
Nowadays, no, absolutely not. No, maybe 10 years ago, possibly. But now, no.
Same. Like I said, y'all make heterosexuality look terrible. And I just, I don't know, the typical life cycle that heterosexual people live, meet somebody, get married, have kids, it doesn't appeal to me. So there's really no reason for me to change my sexuality because then I'm going to be miserable. So, next up in the Come Quick, Cardi B. Let's talk music real quick. So, Cardi B's album, Invasion of Privacy, finally came out. And I know a lot of us, myself included, have been looking at things that have been going on with her since last fall. Like, sis, what is going on? Like, what is your team doing? You did not release your album in October like we thought you would, like you said you would. Right. When you had the opportunity to ride off the success of Bodak Yellow, which was, I think, what is Bodak Yellow at, like 4 times platinum?
I think so, 4 or 5 times
4 or 5
at this point. Yeah.
Like, what's been going on, sis? And then you had another chance with the Finesse remix, and nothing came out. And you announced going on to Bruno Mars is doing another tour off that same album, and he's bringing you along, and that's great. But it's like, where's the album? Where is the album? Like, I feel like back in the day, we used to not have to ask that question. Maybe because we didn't know as much, we weren't as privy to what was going on behind the scenes.
Right.
But these days, that's always the looming question. Where's the music? Where's the album?
Mm-hmm.
So there were some people that were like, hopefully, they're taking their time and they're getting it right. I even saw a theory that the album was ready back in October when it was supposed to release, but they scrapped it because they, it wasn't good enough, and they, went back to the drawing board. I don't know if that's true or not. What I do know is Invasion of Privacy is a good, solid effort from Cardi B. Now, Cardi B is not top tier lyricist. She's not top tier rapper. She's no insert your favorite female MC. But she released a solid body of work. Like, she had me in here. I was ready to twerk till my back went out. You know what I mean? So some of my favorite tracks that really just stood out to me, and I've only listened to it once. Bickenhead, like, that was just, when that came on, and I like, my shoulders went to shimmying, and I was like, what is this? Moneybag was a bop. She Bad is a bop. Through Your Phone, not necessarily like a bop, it's a little bit slowed down, but she had a line on there that really resonated with me and my friends about, she was basically like, I wish I could call your mama and tell her that she raised a bitch, and then hang up, click. And I said, you know what? I feel that in my chakra. I feel that in the core of my being. Because we all have dealt with at least one motherfucker who we like, who the fuck raised you? I want to call them and I want to cuss them out.
Ooh, I'm about to have a flashback.
Right. Don't get triggered. Don't get triggered. And another song called I Like It, even though I couldn't understand like 2/3 of it because she had some people speaking Spanish on it. But, and I saw this somewhere and I agree that would be a bop in like New York, you know, where all the Dominicans and shit, because that's their shit. So I know that there was a lot of new music that came out this week, so but I haven't had a chance to listen to some of it. Some of the people I didn't even know. Not that that's a deterrent. So fill me in on what else came out.
So I know Cardi came out, but Cardi was actually something because, like you said, there was so much stuff that came out yesterday. I haven't even listened to that yet. So Kali Uchis released her album Isolation yesterday. That came out. Kylie Minogue, who's actually one of my favorites, released her album called Golden yesterday. Another one of my favorites. This is like number, I think, 13 or 14. She's still pushing them out. Alina Baraz released an album called The Color of You, which is really good. I've been stuck on that since.
A lot of people talking about that. I've never heard of her, but I'm gonna listen to it. It's in my Apple Music somewhere.
Yeah, she had a EP came out with this producer named Galimatius called Urban Flora. It came out, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Galimatius, that sounds like some shit from Xena Warrior Princess.
It's European. That's all I know. I think. Don't quote me on that. But it's like real chill. It's real down tempo. It's real, real cool music. And then, I'm still listening to Chloe and Halle's album that came out a few weeks ago.
Listen, I was listening to that on my way back from therapy. That is a good. I don't care about y'all jokes about Chloe and Halle. That is a good album. Them heifers can sing, and they are so talented. Like I think. Like I saw someone post from the from Spotify, like the liner notes, and they do pretty much everything. Like they write, one of them plays the piano, one of them plays the guitar. They produce their own shit, executive produce. Like they literally did everything for that album, and it is good as hell. I talked about it last week on the show. It is an excellent album. What's some of your favorite songs from it? We're not supposed to be talking about this, but we're gonna talk about it because I love that. And it's my show.
It is. It sure is your show. So I think my favorite song on that album is Fake. I love Hollow with Gold Link. One of my other favorites is Happy Without Me. I think they performed that on Jimmy Kimmel when that first came out. And the song Warrior from the Wrinkle in Time soundtrack was really good as well.
Okay. I agree. Let's see. High Low. What else? Down.
That's a
Galaxy. Like just that one part, like I'm gonna throw you back to the galaxy like you trash ass bitch. I mean they said it in a nice way. But that's basically what they were saying. Like, you a trash bitch. I'm going to throw your ass back to Saturn. Like, get the fuck on.
That spoke to your spirit, huh?
It did. What else? Happy Without Me.
Oh, yeah.
What's the... Cool People is probably my favorite song on there.
Okay.
Just the way that they sang the song. Just, it fucks with me. And what's the last name? What's the last song? Like Fall or Fallen, something like that?
I think is it Fall, I think?
Something like that. That's my
Fall, yeah, Fall.
So yeah, that it's just a good album. Anyway, okay, back to what you were talking about.
So they've all put out albums, and then Sabrina Claudio released a 2-song EP. The Line just released a single called Gentleman yesterday. I just actually discovered this other artist by the name of Raven Lene. I think she signed to Atlantic, and she has an EP that came out, I think, a few weeks back. She has a couple tracks with Steve Lacy on there, and I've been listening to that pretty much all day, every day since. So, yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's out, and I'm just struggling to catch up with it, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I still haven't really balanced, like, music and podcasts. I think I've gotten to the point where it's like I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I don't know if I can listen to every podcast every week. I may have to like bounce around, or maybe, I don't know, when I'm around the house and I'm not really doing anything, not watching TV. Like, today I've been playing video games, so I could listen to a podcast or music or something. So probably just finding time to squeeze in the music. But I do like the break. Like sometimes I just need a break from music and I want to
Mm-hmm.
hear what people are talking about. And sometimes I get tired of motherfuckers talking and I want to hear some music. So it just, it just depends. And I mean, I expect people to feel the same way about this show. Like I appreciate everybody that listens every week, even if you're 2 or 3 weeks or more behind. I appreciate the listen. I'm the same way. Like John from the John Effect says, I'm an avid podcast listener. Like I listen to a lot of different podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a time and a place for everything. So last thing in the come quick, and I posted this on my social media. If you don't follow me, Trilificent on Instagram and Twitter, and Facebook is not for the masses. However, I saw this on Facebook. So there's this screenshot that somebody posted in like some group or something, and I was like, okay, this is I have to repost this. The screenshot, you guys, and I'm gonna post it from the page's Twitter so y'all can see what I'm talking about. At the top of the screenshot is one of the drop down notifications from the Messages app. The contact is my bae with 2 heart heart eye emoji and then blowing a kiss emoji. And the message says, "You right, bae. Your dick is bigger than your homies. Just found out today."
Wow.
So, that's already enough to take me down. However, it continues.
I think I saw this.
To get what you did. I remember, because I think you, whatever. I think you did. Okay. Then we can see the tabs that are open in this person's Safari browser. So right under that messages notification, the first tab says, "Is it possible to fuck yourself?" There in the Google search. And what makes it even funnier is this was the day that Google had the Maya Angelou. So you can see Maya Angelou with the Google thing behind her, and then right under it is, "Is it possible to fuck yourself?" Again, that take enough to take you down. However, it continues. The next browser says it's a Pornhub browser, and it says "brother and sister revenge." I don't even know what that means. But I was taken down.
Nope.
And then there's another one. I think they may be searching for somebody's name on Pornhub because it says I want to say nothing nice, and it's just missing an O. And then the climax, the finale of this terrible, terrible screenshot. Another Google search with Maya Angelou sitting there looking at you, judging you. And the Google search says, "Why do my piss taste salty?"
Okay, yeah, I've seen this. Wow. That's fucking disgusting.
It was, I saw this and I posted it and everybody had the same reaction that I did. Like, it's a lot going on here.
Too much going on.
It's what is going on in your life? Brother and sister revenge? Your bae is fucking your homie? Like, did you have a bet? And you're like, I'm telling you my dick bigger than my homeboys. And you're like, okay, nigga. And then did you give your bae permission to go find? What is happening in this? What is going on?
See, I'm telling you, somebody is crafting up the next 6 brown chicks scenario. That's what it has to be. Well, that's the only logical explanation.
This is 1, 2, 3. This is 4 questions right here. Because there is so much going on in this screenshot. Anyway, you guys can judge for yourself when you see it. If you haven't already, it's just a lot going on here. And I was just flabbergasted, for lack of a better term.
Wow.
Whew. I mean, I'm looking at it now and it's taking me down. What? And you know what really fucks with me with this is that not too long ago I came across a video on Tumblr of somebody actually fucking themselves, like with their own dick. I don't know how. Peace and blessings to them. I don't know. Like they had enough length, and I guess they don't. It's not rigid when they start to get hard. So they curl it around and stick it in, and I'm just like, I
But I mean, if that's your type of stimulation, wouldn't the erection soon follow after that, making that impossible? Was it just like, look what I can do? Let me just
well,
like,
so the thing about that is not every man when they get an erection, it's not rigid like a board.
oh yeah,
We know that because we see plenty of porn where we like, y'all can't even keep it hard. Y'all trying to shove a soft dick into people, and I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, is the Viagra not working? Did it not kick in yet? Are y'all on a schedule? Because clearly this man's penis is not hard, and the booty hole is quite tight. So how is this even working? Like, are y'all tricking me? Like, is this a trick of the camera? Like, yeah, it's so big, and then you look at it, he got his hand around the shaft, and it's like, okay, bitch, where? Because this is like, you are not being penetrated right now. Y'all are lying to me. Anyway, I don't know what we're talking about. Let's get back on track.
right.
So that wraps up the Come Quick segment. So let's get into the main topic. So I came across this article, and it said 15 questions you've probably been asked if you're the only gay guy in your office. This is a Buzzfeed article, you guys, and you know how that goes, so take everything with a grain of salt, of course. So it literally just listed out the questions, and then it had a GIF under each one. So when you click on the link, if you want to see the GIFs, have at it. But we're going to go through these questions probably relatively quickly. So the first question is, do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race? I mean, I guess disclaimer, I am pretty low key at work. Not because, I'm scared of people knowing my sexuality, but because I don't like people in my business and I don't like talking to people. Listen, when I go on other podcasts and I do my AKAs, one of my AKAs is don't be alive near me while we're at work. Like, I don't like to be bothered while I'm at work. So I don't have too many instances where anybody actually knew my sexuality, especially not in the year of our Lord 2018, because I feel like my sexuality is like on hold. Anyway, I can see people asking this question. Do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race? And I feel like this is more than like it's going to be straight women asking this, because heterosexual women are like really excited about RuPaul's Drag Race. And they are equally, from what I've seen, equally excited to talk to a gay person about it, usually like a gay man about it,
Right.
so I can see them asking this question.
Right.
Don't ask me any questions. please don't ask me no questions at work. I don't even like being asked work questions. I sure as hell don't want to be asked if I watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I already, Huss, aka Adrian, already is on my case about not watching it. He just fussed at me this week about it, and I'm like, get to it, Jesus. I can't imagine a coworker being like, do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race? And I'd be like, do you know how to mind your business? Anyway, so that's the first question, you guys. Have you ever been asked, do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race at work?
I know I definitely have not. However, I've overheard one of my coworkers talking about it, and I've interjected like, oh yeah, I've seen a couple episodes here and there.
Oh, see, that's where you fucked up.
I know. But believe it or not, it's actually like pretty low key. Like, we'll have our little conversations, and let me preface this by saying I've only watched like RuPaul's Drag Race intermittently. I know who Shangela is because of the web series her and Jennifer Lewis had years ago on YouTube. And so when I heard that Shangela was on, I was like, oh, wow. Okay, let me look at some screenshots from Twitter, because I'm not going to turn on, what is the logo or VH1 it's on now?
Yeah, it's on VH1 now.
Okay, well, if it's not Love and Hip Hop, I don't watch it. So,
whoops.
on VH1, that is.
I mean, I'm glad it's not on Logo anymore, so I at least have a chance to watch it. Because Logo is supposed to be for us, but it's not. It's not for us. It's for the white gays, and that's obviously not my. Anyway. Good luck, Logo. So next up, The next question says, "Can we go shopping together sometime?" Uh, I don't know. How you feel about this question?
See, it's these questions are kind of like so far they're kind of like these aren't questions you would normally ask somebody. And I don't know about you, but I work in a predominantly black office,
Oh
so
no, I don't know that life.
right. But you're not going to just walk up to somebody regardless of what you assume they are. Nobody asks like, "Can we go shopping sometime?" Like I'm the first person to say I hate shopping. Like if I can't get it online from Amazon, I mean, I actually have to go to the store to try on clothes. Okay,
Yeah,
that's still a thing.
yeah.
Don't
Same.
don't ask me.
I
Mm-mm.
feel the same way. Like I've never really enjoyed. You know what? I'm not gonna say that. I don't enjoy clothes shopping. And I do enjoy the convenience of delivered to my damn door.
Hmm.
But there are some things that I may be like. Generally, electronics and stuff like that. I can kind of handle in store.
Right.
But I don't like dealing with the public. So, anytime where I can shop online and again, they straight to my door or, the furthest maybe to my apartment leasing office, that's my jam. That's my thing. I
Hmm.
don't like and I just the thought of trying on clothes in the store, it actually makes me a little sick
Why?
because you don't know who else has tried these clothes on. You don't know what their body situation is. You don't know if they
Oh,
took a shower that day. You don't. You. I just. I'm. I don't. I'm very weird about that. Like, and especially ever since I saw something online on Twitter, I think it was, and this
mhm.
girl is like, "Y'all don't try on your panties before you go home," and I was like, "Bitch, what the
Wait, what?
fuck?"
What?
Yeah, I want to say it was. I pray that it was fake and she was joking. But again, I don't put anything past anyone because there was a girl who like posted a picture. She took in the what do you call it in the dressing room,
Hmm.
and she had on some drawers, some panties, and that was like the caption, like y'all girls don't try on y'all panties. That's why y'all something now, and it was something stupid.
See,
And I
that's
remember the
nasty.
timeline was like, "Bitch, are you crazy?" And the general consensus was that's how you get yeast infections. That's how you get infections in your vagina. Like
Ugh.
you don't try on draws at the like either they your size or they not. So I'm
Ugh.
weird about that kind of stuff. Like I don't try on like the thought of getting a garment and it's not coming out of like a bag. I don't know. I'm weird. And even when it comes out of the bag, it goes from the bag to the washing machine.
That's real.
I'm very strange about that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Anyway, next question. It says, "Who pays when you go on a date?" I'm just putting myself in the mindset of being asked this question at work, and it's a little triggering is not the word, but because there's confusion about this amongst actual gay men. So to have somebody at work who probably is not a gay man ask you this, you probably sit there with the surprise, that white blinking man. That's probably how you react because it's like, well, shit, I don't know because there's no consensus. So I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, again, I don't want to be asked any questions, but I feel
See,
like this is a kind of a it's kind of a stealthy way of asking some deeper questions
right.
because of the gender roles that are associated with who pays when you go on a date. So I feel like it's like, oh, well, I want to ask, but I don't want to ask. So let me ask something else that will kind of feed how I think it works. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
It's really weird, like that question, because my default response would be like, well, whoever asked for the date. So it's kind of answering the question, but not really answering the question, if that makes sense.
Yes, but that is answering the question, because that's fair, and I agree. Like whoever asks and plan the date, that's who I assume is paying for the date, unless y'all have an agreement where it's like, I take care of my bae, and your nigga pays for the dates, or you the one being like, I take care of my bae, and you pay for the dates all the time. But see, then it starts to get tricky, because again, there's not any consensus amongst gay men, because whenever this pops up on the timeline on Twitter, it's like, then you got the bottoms who are like, the top should pay for everything. Then you got the tops that are like to be treated, and like to be treated like a king, so they feel like whoever they dealing with should pay for everything. And then everybody's like, well, where do diverse people fall? It's just a hot mess. It's just a hot mess, and I'm just like, everybody pay for their own shit and go the hell home. But anyway,
I think people trip themselves up, and I've noticed this on Twitter as well. I think people trip themselves up when they try to assign these gender roles.
Oh yes,
or these perceived sexual roles to how we should conduct ourselves on dates and in dating.
Correct.
My rule is this: I have student loans, I have rent. If you want to pay, cool. If I ask, I'll pay. I don't mind. As long as there's some sort of reciprocity in place, I'm all for it. But I'm not paying all the time, because Navient don't want to hear that when I don't have a student loan money.
I agree. It's hard. It's hard for people to separate, and it's hard for them to leave their sexual position in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It always has to come out. Like, there's all these rules about, and I've talked about it on the show before. There's all these rules about what a top's supposed to do, and all these rules about what a bottom's supposed to do. And my thinking is, I thought the only rule is the bottom's supposed to take dick and the top is supposed to provide it. Like, all this other stuff, now all this social stuff that is attached to it. And I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the next question says, have you been to a gay club? And I feel like this is another one of those stealthy questions where it's like they're trying to define what kind of gay you are, and it's like trying to be in your business. Like, oh, I wonder what you be doing on the weekend. So do you go to gay clubs? And it's like, are you like one of those party gays? And then there's a lot of assumptions that come with that. Oh, he probably do drugs. He probably be in the bathroom doing blow. At the club, he probably J sets or whatever the case may be. Depending on your mannerisms, they might assume that you go to the club in like a blouse or some shit. It's just a lot that I can see that being a rabbit hole.
Right.
I guess because whenever people ask questions or really just in general in conversation, I'm always trying to read between the lines. Like, I hear what you're saying, and I'm taking that and I'm interpreting it, but I'm also like, what are you not saying?
Right.
Or what are you saying without using words?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can infer some things from reading between the lines, but then there's some things that you're like, you're presenting it one way, but what are you really asking?
Right.
And I feel like this is one of them. Because,
but I think this could also be, I guess, the answer could depend on where you live. Like, I know here in DC, we have a club called Nelly's. Or it's not even a club; it's a sports bar, and it's a gay sports bar.
Oh yeah.
They have drag brunch, and they have all these things. And I know some straight guys who have gone with their girlfriends, and they've gone in larger groups. So if you ask somebody, or somebody were to ask, "Have you been to a gay bar?" It's like, well, yeah, I've been to Nelly's. I've been for drag brunch, or I went, with a group of friends.
I can see that being the case in maybe a smaller town too, because then it's like, what is the gay club? Like, what's it called and where is it? So let me ask. Now that I know you're gay, I'm gonna ask you so I can get the tea. And it's like, mind your business. Mind your business.
Right. Google is your friend, not me.
It is a friend and it is a confidant. I've been telling y'all that Sister Mary Google will not lead you astray. Unless you get to them deeper pages when you don't know what the hell the results are. Okay, next question says, do you know, and then insert name of random gay man. I feel like I've had this happen before. Like
Really?
a long time ago, I want like over a decade ago when I had a job where, there were some girls that I was cool with, that I'm still cool with. They knew I was gay and they would ask me like, "Oh, such and such," and I was like, so when I declare myself as a homosexual, I don't get like a Rolodex of every other homosexual in the city. It doesn't
You
really
don't?
work like that.
It wasn't in your kit?
It I did not get a welcome kit, no jacket.
Damn.
I didn't get any of that. So I'm like,
Well, I got two. So maybe they sent me yours by accident. I don't know.
that's a possibility. It got bounced back. The USPS is trash. So I don't know. But yeah, I think I want to say I've had that question asked before. Like, oh, such and such, and it's like, why would I know such and such? Oh well, and then it gets awkward because it's like you don't want. It sounds fucked up when you say, well, he's gay and you gay, so I just assumed that you knew him. That sounds fucked up. That's like saying, oh,
it
you know
does.
such and such, and it's like, why you think I know such and such? Oh well, and then they don't want to say it like, well, you black and they black, so I just assumed y'all knew each other. It's weird.
Right.
I don't know.
Mm.
Next question says, what's your type? That's a very strange question to be asked in the office, regardless of sexuality.
Right.
Like I can't imagine like if people even knew that I don't even feel comfortable saying like men because I don't know if I do. But being like, oh, you're gay. What's your type? Like, what? Like, oh, you are so far into the realm of my business. Why is this happening? I don't know. What do you think?
That's an extremely forward question to ask because, like you said earlier about inferring things, it's like, okay, so what's the follow-up question? Are you going to try to attempt to set me up with somebody or pawn your newly gay brother cousin on me? Like, how exactly does this work?
Come on, brother cousin.
Listen, you never know nowadays.
You sure don't. It could be brother sister revenge.
Mm-hmm. Don't.
So the next question says, who is the man in the relationship? That was, see, those are fighting words to me. Because what you're not going to do is put your heterosexual gender roles on my life, my existence. Like everybody, unless they identify otherwise, everybody in the relationship is a man. What the hell are you talking about?
At that point, you gotta like come back with like a smart ass response. Like, well, we both have dicks, so care to elaborate? Or
no, what you say is when they come to you and they be like, who's the man in the relationship? And then you turn around and you ask them, well, who's the man in your relationship, bitch? Shit.
That is a much better response.
I just rolled my neck while doing it too. Sassy.
You're a sassy.
Sometimes you got to get sassy with these motherfuckers to let them know you mean goddamn business. But yeah, that probably would be my response. It's especially, and I probably would change it. Like if it was a man asking me that, I would be like, well, who's the woman in your relationship? And look them dead in the eye. And if it's a woman, I'm like, who's the man in your relationship?
Something to catch him off guard.
And yeah, depending on how much I'm annoyed and whether or not I even like the person, it could get worse.
See.
But see, this is why it's like you should not be alive near me at work because you don't know what you're going to get. Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what kind of insult you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Next question says, do you listen to Beyonce? So I thought that this question was a little interesting because I know Beyonce is like a gay icon and all this kind of stuff. But I wonder if Beyonce's name could be interchangeable for some other names. So I made a mental note to ask you, like, what other artists could someone ask you if they listen to that could kind of be synonymous with, oh, are you gay? Or now that I know you gay, are you like a typical gay? The only name that I could come up with off the top of my head was Rihanna, but I'm interested to see if you have any other.
Well, yeah. So Rihanna would be one. I think Lady Gaga would definitely
Oh,
be another
yeah,
one.
Gaga, Goo Goo Gaga.
Um, I mean, listen, if people at my coworkers saw my playlist on Spotify that I'm at my desk low key body rolling to all day, they'd be like, okay, we see the rainbow flag just flying high with this one. But luckily, they don't pay close enough attention because they're still trying to marry me off to their daughter. So it
Yikes!
works out in my favor.
Yikes! I feel like maybe not currently, but I feel like in the early 2000s and in the 1990s, you could say Janet.
Janet, okay. But,
Um,
nah, but with Janet being as sexual as she is, I mean, I know several, straight guys who'd be like, "Oh yeah, I love Janet Jackson. I love that video. I love the way she looked on this." So you could kind of flip that to where it wouldn't, to me at least, seem suspicious.
maybe around black people, but not white people.
Oh, okay, well,
In the Caucasian realm, I don't feel like they would be like, "Oh, you listen to Janet," and a straight white man be like, "Well, I love Janet." Janet be looking. I don't see that. Like, if someone asks you if you listen to Janet, you'd be like, "Is you gay or nah?" And it's like, get out of my face. Yes, I listen to Janet. Get out of my face.
yes, we love Janet.
Okay, so I'm interested. I could see Kylie Minogue.
Kylie definitely, or like the Spice Girls, or
Yeah, Spice
um,
Girls.
take it back, maybe Diana Ross or the Supremes, or
Yeah,
any like '60s girl group,
yeah,
any girl group in general.
yeah.
Oh
Any
yeah.
girl group in general. I mean, there's no girl groups now that really. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
I'm
I don't.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm still on Danity Kane, and even then, that was later after Destiny's Child, and
Yeah.
yeah, mm.
R.I.P. to the girl group because I don't know about these new girls.
What 17th Harmony? Or didn't they get rid of somebody, or somebody died? Like, was it
No,
Survivor?
nobody died.
Oh, I don't know.
No, the racist girl left the group to go solo.
Oh, okay.
So she's doing her solo thing, and I've heard a little bit of some song that she was singing, and I was like, she sounds awful, but that's not my business. But now I think they just announced because I heard it on some podcast that they announced that they're on like a indefinite hiatus because they're going to start pursuing their solo careers. But I don't know. That group has always been really weird to me. Like they've always been awkward. I've never felt. I like the little bit that I know about them that I've seen. I'm like these girls are never in sync. Not when they perform. Not when they interview. Not when they just walking down the street. Like they're never in sync. And it's just like, and I know it's a manufactured group, but I'm thinking like back in the day, a lot of girl groups were manufactured. Hell, In Vogue was a manufactured group.
I did not know that until recently.
Now, granted, they I don't. You know what? I don't. That's gonna make me sad. Let's just move on.
Okay.
So the next question says, "Are you like out?" And again, why are you so far in my business? What does out even mean? I feel like that's almost like a low key like. Are you out? Like, is it okay for me to talk about it with other people? Like, do other people know so that I won't be outing you because I want to talk to other people about you?
See, this is a bit hard for me to relate to because people at my job, as long as you don't talk to them, they don't talk to you. So I guess I'm a bit of an anomaly in this sense because these questions are just like super, super intrusive.
They are. I feel like these are all white people asking these questions
I can see it.
because I don't see black people just getting so far into your business to ask you these kind of questions. And to be honest, I didn't find out till after. This is okay. Okay. So I had a job where I worked at the same company as my stepfather, and I found out after the fact, like when I left, because I had some coworkers that I was friendly with outside of work. and they were like, yeah, you're like such and such and such and such used to ask about your sexuality, like whether or not you was gay, because I guess your stepfather mentioned it. And I was just like, but nobody ever came to me and asked me any questions, so I'm glad about that. But I'm just like, I feel like it was the same thing, like, well, I'm not like I'm not out at work, so nobody's gonna be up front and ask any questions, but they're gonna talk about it behind the scenes. And I was like, this is so fucking raggedy. Like, y'all are too fucking old for this bullshit. But what can you do? What can you do? So next question says, do you like Same Love by Macklemore? I'm not I'm not 100% sure what song this is. Is that the song where he was like, if I was gay I would do XYZ, but I'm not, so I'm here for y'all, crying to my white bosom? Like, was that song, or is this a different song?
I think that's the one. Was Sam Smith singing on that one? Like, I think he won a Grammy for it, and like I think people got married at the Grammys while that song was playing. I don't know. I'm not a big Macklemore fan, so
I'm not a Macklemore fan at all. He looks like an uncircumcised penis, a white one.
Wow.
He looks like a white Roger Klotz wrapped in a blanket.
Come through, Doug reference.
Doug is everything. Anyway,
it is.
I probably would just look at somebody crazy if they asked me this, because I don't even know what song this is. I think that's the song, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's another song. I do remember that there was like a big brouhaha because of that. He had a song, and he was like, well, if I was gay, and it was like, you're not gay. What are you talking about? What are you saying? What are you talking about,
weird.
White man?
That's weird.
It was like supposed to be his ally song, but it was just real weird. I don't know. I would be like, who is Macklemore? That would be my response. Who or what is Macklemore? Is that like a species of fish?
Could be like a sneaker manufacturer.
Right. Is that like a brand of construction spackle? Like, what is Macklemore?
I think I saw that at Home Depot. I think you're right about that one.
Definitely at Lowe's. Lowe's is the bougie one.
You're right. You have a point there.
So the next question says, how do your parents feel about it? And this just, I can't imagine somebody asking this question without thinking about what could you be triggering or bubbling or have bubbling up in the person that you're asking. Because that could be something that's traumatic for that person. Now you got them reliving trauma at work because your ass is nosy as hell.
Mm-hmm. You can't see stuff like this is so intrusive. And like you said, it could trigger somebody. Next thing you know, y'all on lockdown because somebody with a gun is roaming the office, trying to take people out. You can't.
Right.
You can't ask these type of questions of people.
You can't be so far in people's business. Like, it's just, don't do it. 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 Okay. Next question. Did you do musical theater as a kid? I did not realize that musical theater was synonymous with gay men.
Apparently it is, for the local crowd, but
I don't know, because I know a whole lot of gay men that are not musically or theatrically talented. So,
right. Listen, the closest I came to musical theater as a kid was trying to mimic Bobby Brown's dance moves off of my TV when BET was on. That's the closest I came to musical theater. So,
yeah,
I couldn't make
sense.
Yeah, no.
But I'm like, I don't like. Why would this be something you ask a gay guy? Because there's tons of straight guys that have done. I don't know. This is a weird question to me.
You got to remember the source, though. Like,
true. Very, very true. Next question says, and I think I ranted about this a couple weeks ago. The question, but have you ever tried being with a girl? And I posted about this, and I said something to the effect of, straight men, y'all need to stop going to gay men and trying to sell them on vagina. Like, don't do that. Don't, like, what? Because, and I even, people that I've been friendly with be like, I don't know how y'all can be gay. Like, have you tried vagina? It's the end all be all. It's the bee's knees. And it's like, so you think it's cute, but you're just gonna be actively dismissive of my whole sexuality, like whether I've tried vagina or not. Why is that? What are you saying? Like, you sound weird. First of all, why are you worried about it? Second of all, vagina is not out here losing. Vagina doesn't need you to sell it. It doesn't need you trying to convert people for it. And it's like, if I'm gay, ain't that more vagina for you? Why you? I'm confused. I don't see the logic.
I don't see it either. But like you said earlier, that's a question you flip on them. Well, dick is just or ass, if that's just your thing. It's such an amazing thing. Have you tried it?
Listen.
You sure you don't want to?
See, and that would be me. Be like, have you ever tried being with the girl? And then I would be like, so you telling me you ain't never sucked a little dick in the locker room? Because y'all be naked as fuck in there. I played sports in high school. Y'all be naked as fuck. You telling me you ain't never had a little finger in the butt? A little finger in the butt? Come on. You ain't never gave your homeboy a bro job? Come on. Have you ever tried it? Have you ever tried having a dick in your mouth? Have you ever tried? Listen, you got to flip this shit on these people, because make them uncomfortable. Because a lot of times, sometimes I feel like people don't really realize how intrusive they're being and how uncomfortable they make you with this kind of stuff. But sometimes I think people do it with those specific purposes. Mm-hmm. And that's why you got to flip the script on that ass. If it's a woman being like, so you mean girl, you mean to tell me that you have not ever introduced your lips to labia? I refuse to believe it. Have you ever tried it? Have you ever tried being with a girl?
Important questions.
And have them looking at you like, I'm a conservative white woman with 2 kids. How dare you ask me that? Exactly, Susan. Get out of my face. I need those reports, bitch. Get back to work.
But those are usually the main ones that have done all sorts of experimenting in their college days. Years.
Oh, well, it was a different time. It was the 60s or some bullshit. And you'd be like,
fuck
bitch,
all that.
Shut your bisexual ass up and get out my face. Girl, please. Anyway, don't ask gay men that, because, and like I said, straight men, if you hear this, that shit it's not funny. It's not cute. Be like, have you ever tried vagina? Have you ever tried being with a woman? A lot of gays have, and guess what? All roads lead back to dick. Okay?
It's a beautiful thing.
Well, I mean, if you're into that sort of thing. I don't
You like
The problem with dick is not the actual dick. The problem with dick is that it's attached to men. Just for the sake of this, I'm not going to get into the nuances of what a penis could be attached to. But overall, for my purposes, and what I am unfortunately sexually attracted to, the dick is attached to a man. And that's where you lose me.
Can't get with the man part, huh?
They just, I don't know. Maybe the universe is gearing me up for some amazing man to come change my mind and change my whole life and have me trying to breathe with no air. I don't know. But currently, universe, you striking out, sis. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. Next question says, this is some fuck shit. Why are all of the cute guys gay? So I don't like this question for a couple of reasons, but the main reason I don't like this is because you're assuming a lot. Because it's usually, let me not be mean when I say this, but it's usually women that you automatically are not attracted to because they're a woman, but also just being appreciative of the human form and the female form, usually you don't find them attractive. They're the one. Oh, why you have to be gay? You know, why all the cute guys gotta be gay? And it's like, listen, Mary. Even if see, and it's so mean. It's like, even if I wasn't gay, even if I wore vagina on my beard, the answer would be no. You gotta flip it. You gotta flip it.
You have to, but I have to call out one of my coworkers because she knows that I'm gay, and she and I have had conversations about guys that she's come across, and I told her the trick to figuring out whether or not a guy is gay. Of course, on Instagram, you just look at who they follow.
Hello.
If you see women, then you're in the clear. But if you see all men or men with their shirts off and a
whole bunch of booty accounts.
Listen,
and
that answers your question.
It's booty with balls in the middle.
Listen, but so she follows this guy that actually lives here in DC, and she knows where he is. She's like, oh, he's so attractive, he's so cute, but he's gay. I said, well, I mean, I don't think you'd be his type if he weren't. No disrespect.
Listen, see, if we're not friendly, it would be all disrespect. Be like, bitch, have you looked in the mirror? What makes you think that you would have a chance with him if he wasn't gay? And that's mean, I know, but you shouldn't. You opened the door.
You really did.
You opened the door, and I sashayed my ass through it. So now, what are we gonna do? Where do we go from here? It's just a weird question, and
very weird.
Not all of the cute guys are gay. Some of the cute guys are straight. They just trash. Some of a lot of the cute gays are trash too. I mean, it's just trash abound.
Most of them are trash.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but that's just a weird question because it's almost like a sliver of entitlement, because it's like, I'm entitled to cute guys, but the cute guys that I like are gay. So, and it's like, that's not how any of this works. And you probably should get away from me now. We are at work. I'm just trying to get to the coffee. I had a long night. I went out. Okay. Last question, you guys. Do you ever get asked stereotypical questions? Can you imagine somebody asking you a bunch of shit and then they be like, well, do you ever get, do they ask you, it's like, you mean the
right
question
now?
that you asking me right now? The words that are coming out of your mouth at this precise time?
No, nobody's ever asked me questions. You know, I guess I've just been so lucky.
Yeah. So, are there any questions that you have been asked that weren't on the list, or maybe not necessarily that you've been asked, but that you can think of? I have the main one in my head is someone just asking you flat out, are you a top or bottom? Okay,
wait a minute. Somebody just outright asked you that unprompted.
I think I've told this story on the show before. I'm not sure, but when I was in high school and I worked at a local grocery store called HEB, and there was a girl that was like bisexual, and she was trying to set me up with this other guy, and she flat out asked me. She was like, well, you top or bottom? And I was like, I mean, I knew what it meant, but I was like, what makes you think that I'm out here just fucking? Like, girl, I'm 16. What you talking? But yeah, I think that's the only time I've been asked at work if I was a top or bottom. I feel like there may have been some times in different scenarios where somebody, like a straight person, was like, well, are you top or bottom? And it's like, first of all, how do you know those terms? And second of all, why are you at? Because it's so weird. It's just like, the thing about being just LGBT, like anything on the spectrum, is as soon as someone knows that you are, they automatically start thinking about your bedroom activities. And I think that is so weird, because I'm like, with straight people, when you meet other straight people, your immediate thought is not, I wonder what I wonder what Becky gets up to when behind closed doors when the lights go off. Like that, I don't like y'all don't do that. So or straight people don't do that to other straight people. But it's like it's so ingrained in people that being LGBT is an anomaly that they immediately start thinking about. Well, I'm gay. It's like, well, what you be? I wonder if you be getting fucked, or and it's you know what I mean, or with a lesbian, they be like, I wonder how big the strap is. Like they immediately go to sexual stuff, and they can't shake that. And it's just so strange to me because I just like, I mean, beyond it being just completely intrusive and inappropriate, depending on the circumstances. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely see someone that's versed enough in gay lingo and slang and culture being like, "Oh, are you a top or bottom?"
That's just, I'd be caught off guard with that question. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, even, and I'll even go so far to say, at least for me, I've had friends randomly ask me that question, and I'm like, "Why are you trying to fuck me? Like, why do you care what I am?"
Yeah.
So a random person, I probably just sit there or stand there, just look at them like they're stupid because it's just again an intrusive question to ask.
And me, I would flip it around and be like, "Well, are you a top or a bottom? Let's talk about it." You know, just imagine a woman at workspace to be like, "Are you a top or bottom?" And you'd be like, "Well, are you a top or bottom?" And then you got to do that Miss Foxy Head thing that she did when she was in jail. Let's really get into it. Are you a top or are you a bottom, Rebecca? I want to know.
What do you do in your spare time?
You know, be like, what? Come on, I'm a girl. That don't mean nothing.
Not at all.
Another question that I could see someone asking at work is, or just being, you know, too forward where they want to set you up with someone else that they know is gay at work, or just that they know. I can see that, you know, they feel like they're doing you a favor. They're like, "Oh, you're gay, but you're alone." And because, you know, straight people they weird about that stuff sometimes. Like they feel like something's wrong with you if you're single. I mean, gays do it too, but gays do it to each other. Straight people do it to everybody. As long as they're not like bigoted and stuff. Like if they cool with, you know, trans and lesbians and gays and et cetera, and you're alone, their immediate thing is, I gotta fix you up. Let's turn this into love connection, collection and connection. And you're like, I did not sign up for this. When I signed my contract to work, I told them I would come to work, and they told me, "We'll give you money."
Right.
And I said, "That's great. I did not sign up for you to be trying to hook me up with somebody."
Like all I did was ask you for your stapler, or like you had staples.
Right.
I didn't ask for you to try to hook me up with your brother cousin.
Yeah, the brother cousin again. Yeah. But also, because you mentioned it with friends, like I had a friend who wanted to set me up with somebody at her job. First of all, it was long distance. And I was like, what are you doing? And it's like, "Oh, he's so nice and da-da-da-da. And y'all are both gay." And I had to let her know. I'm like, just because we're both gay, that's not how this works. I'm like, you don't even know what I'm attracted to. Like, just because we both gay, that don't mean we automatically gonna go together like two Lego pieces. Like, no. And she was like, "Oh, well, I mean, but he's really nice." And I'm like, that, okay, but a lot of people are nice. That don't mean I want to fuck them or I want to go on a date with them.
Right.
Like, I got this. You don't need to hook me up with nobody, you know? Because he was severely not my type. And that's not to, and I don't mean that he was ugly. He just wasn't my type. Like, you know,
that's usually how it is when they try to set you up with people.
And that's
like
usually what it, like, they have no idea what you like. And it's weird for them to ask. So it's just like, well, y'all are both gay. Y'all will figure it out. And it's like, no, we know. Because y'all don't do that. You only want to be with somebody that you find attractive. Well, I don't know. See, that's the thing with straight women. Because a lot of straight women, y'all settle. And that's sad.
A lot of people, I don't think that's necessarily a straight thing. I think a lot of people in general end up settling, gay or straight.
Yeah, I agree, but I think at the top of the list is straight women.
Uh-oh.
Because when you think about it and when you look at it, like I just think about all of the things, like when the man is ugly or the man is like fat as hell and the woman is in shape, or I mean, just so many scenarios that I can think of where it's like, I mean, it kind of looks like you settled, sis.
Yeah.
Especially when they start talking about their life, because like, you don't just look at somebody and be like, oh, well, he fat and you not, so you must have settled. But then when she starts talking and she starts looking crazy and she looking at him, on his second plate, and she got that look and it's like, this is awkward. I don't know. Those were just two questions that came to mind that weren't on the list. I don't know. So what you should take away from this is don't ask your gay coworker any questions about being gay or their sexuality. Ask them about work. If y'all are friendly enough, maybe ask them if they want to go to lunch. Then leave them alone. Amen? That's all I don't know. You got any parting thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, none whatsoever.
Leave people alone at work. Okay, so that wraps up the main topic, you guys. I'm interested if any of you have ever been asked these questions or a different question. So if you want to tweet us, tweet the show, or post it on your Instagram, post it on Facebook, what questions you've been asked as a gay in your office, let us know. And we're going to move right along. So my favorite segment, the Queer Query. Question. Got some questions. Let's get into it.
Okay.
So what childhood hobby do you still enjoy as an adult? And if you don't have any, what hobby from childhood do you wish you could rekindle?
So for me, I can say watching TV was actually a big childhood hobby of mine.
Come on.
And although I don't watch as much as I used to, just with work and life and traveling and shit.
And dating.
And, that too. I kind of, wow, really? I've kind of segued that into starting to write a screenplay. I feel like I've seen so much television and seen all of these stories, dramatic and comedic, and I feel like I could, write a screenplay. So I'm, doing research into setting one up and, getting research on topics and I guess learning how to set up a storyboard. So we'll see, what comes of that. I've given myself the year, so we'll see what I have come, December 31st.
Okay. I too have kind of played with the idea. Maybe not a screenplay, but just writing like a web series or something. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. Anyway, my childhood hobby that I wish I could kind of take up again is architectural drawing is one. Like, I feel like I've talked about this before, but I used to, like when I was around like the third grade age, I would just get a piece of paper, a pencil, and a ruler, and I would just crank out like front elevations of houses just off the top of my head, just windows and roofs, and just I would just do that over and over and over again, all kinds of different stuff. And I wish that I had kept it up because I feel like I was like I could be an architect by now, but oh well. So that's one, and the other is writing songs, which don't come for me, and don't ask me to see no song lyrics because the answer's gonna be no. But
damn.
When I was young, I mean, if we're friends, maybe, but for my listeners, I don't need y'all judging me. Okay, I'm on my Erykah Badu shit. But when I was in like high school, is really when it really took off. Like I used to I would hear melodies in my head and I would write whole songs. Like I had a whole folder where I had printed out all the lyrics to the songs that I like a whole album's worth of songs. And I kind of lost that. Like I've always written something. It started off with songs, and then when I got older, I was, writing stories, poetry, and I'm trying to get back into. I've been saying it for weeks, and I still ain't done it because I'm trash. But trying to get back into writing the stories and the poems, and just trying to flex that writing and see if I can make something of it. But songs in particular, I wish I could get back into that. And you know what really inspired me? Listening to Chloe and Holly's album. Like, just when I sat and listened to some of the lyrics and the melodies, and I'm just like, man, I really wish I could just not. And it's not even for a specific purpose, just for me. Because back then, writing those song lyrics was like therapy. It was cathartic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if it was shit that I had not dealt with, because I've never really had an active dating life, but just seeing other people go through stuff and just writing it into a song and making it rhyme and having a melody. And okay, is this going to be an up-tempo song? Is this going to be a slow song? Is it going to be mid-tempo? And just, I don't know. I just had such a connection with myself when I would be like, I'm gonna sit down and write something, and the melody I could hear it in my head, and I could, as I'm writing the lyrics, I can hear the lyrics being sung, and how am I gonna fit this what I want to say and make it make sense and make it rhyme, because I want the song to go in a specific way and tell a specific story, or have a specific purpose. And so how do I say XYZ but make it melodic? Like I miss having that connection with myself. So that's something that I wish I could rekindle. And I've tried, and it didn't work because I was trying to force it. So I feel like I'm hoping anyway that it's something that naturally kind of comes back to me at some point. But if not, oh well. But either way, whether it's writing songs, writing stories, writing poems, I'm definitely going to be writing something. Next question. What's the most played song in your iTunes library?
So the most played song in my iTunes library is Solange's Tony.
Ooh.
I played that.
Wasn't for Tony.
Come through vocals.
Oh no, let's not tell that. Let's not do that.
So I used to have a wake up playlist, and I had it for like over I think a year and a half. And every morning at like let's say 8 or 9 a.m. it would go off, and that would be the first song that played, and I would listen to that song literally at least once a day for about a year and a half. So
I can just imagine waking up. Tony don't call no more. Oh, time to get up.
Right. And it's bad when you wake up, like you open your eyes and you're already like in your bed, like doing a little jig, and you mouthing the words while you half asleep. Oh yeah. I was like, I need to change this because I'm probably gonna start dreaming the music video at some point.
Yeah. Tony was the shit though. That album, Solange is so talented. I love her.
Me too.
So, full disclosure, and we talked about this before we started recording. My iTunes library is not it's only like I want to say maybe 10% of what I actually have as far as music, but something happened a couple of years ago and I lost my whole iTunes library, or I lost a significant chunk of it, and so I had to go and find music that I had downloaded, re-download stuff, and I've been too lazy to rebuild my library because I'm one of those people who my iTunes library has to be pretty much perfect. Like every song needs to have the right information, it needs to have album art, and that's a lot of work. And I had did it once before, and then when I lost all of that, I was like, fuck that. So I don't have nearly as much in my actual library as what I actually have. But what I do have, the most played song is Shay's Lounge by Tamia from her last album.
Oh, okay. Come through, Tamia.
Listen, that's a sexy song. I like that song. Tamia is just
she's so good.
Where's the music, girl? I'm ready for the next project. Like, I'm ready for the next Tamia. I'm ready for the next Jasmine Sullivan. You know, obviously, I'm ready for the next Beyonce, whatever they have. I say they because, you know, the speculation is the joint album, which I don't really want, but I'm going to listen to anyway because it's Beyonce.
Right.
But definitely, those are two that I'm really looking forward to: Jasmine Sullivan and Tamia. I don't know what Jazz is doing, but I'm pretty sure Tamia is working on it. But you know how that goes. So
I feel like Jasmine Sullivan does more stuff behind the scenes, so
yeah,
you really
she's been
wouldn't
doing
know
a
what
lot
she's
more.
doing.
She's been doing a lot more writing, I know, and producing. But we want an album from you. Also, Fantasia.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I didn't really care for the last Fantasia album with the orange cover. I don't even remember the title. Like, I listened to it and I was like, I don't know about this.
I don't think I listened to that. I saw her live when she came to Baltimore with Anthony Hamilton, and she put on an amazing show as always, but I don't think I ever actually listened to that album.
Yeah, I didn't care for it. I remember somebody was like, oh, you know, blah, 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 and I was listening to it, and I was like, She has a song on there, I want to say, called Lonely Legend, and I love that song because it gives me Tina Turner vibes, and I stand for Tina Turner, so... which is so random because you hardly ever hear anybody talking about Tina Turner, but I stand for Tina Turner. Like,
she is living her best life over in Switzerland right now. So
she has been for a long time too, and she deserves. She does because she has been through a lot and she's given a lot. Anyway, Shay's Lounge by Tamia. Listen to it, enjoy it. If you're so inclined and lucky enough to be able to have sex to it, then do your thing because it's a sexual song.
It is.
The next question: if you could ask any question and get a definitive answer, what would you ask? And for example, when I say ask any question, I don't mean specifically to anyone, but it could be to someone. But you may ask, what's the meaning of life? You may ask, did Russia really interfere with the last U.S. presidential election? Any question, and you will get a real deal, true answer, no matter who it is. NDAs be damned, secrecy be damned. Like, you would get the answer if you just ask the question out loud, and you'll get the answer.
Well, I mean, since you already kind of stole my answer when you mentioned the examples, I definitely want to know, like, what is my life's purpose? What am I here to do? Who am I here to influence or inspire? Or am I just piddling away at a job? And
I would have to think about it a little bit and I would have to quell my standum because my immediate thought would be like, Beyonce, bitch, what happened on that fucking elevator? I want definitive answers. I want to know what was going on. I don't want to speculate. I don't want no conspiracy theory about that being the first drop of lemonade. I want to know what happened. I want clear, definitive answers. What happened? And why were you sitting there with that smirk while Solange was going Pink Ranger on your husband? I need answers. But see, I would have to be like, okay, in your stand-up, is that really what you want to ask?
Right. You can ask her any question.
I would still be on it and be like, okay, maybe not the elevator, but I want to know. Like, I want to know the gritty details. What did you do? Like, how did you make Jay-Z pay for cheating on you, girl? Because I know you a petty Virgo and you a Houston girl. I know you did. I know you had that nigga suffering. I know you had his old ass quaking in his goddamn boots. What did you do? I need list it out for me. I want to know, what did you do? Because I know you had him fucked up. I know you had him fucked up. Let me know. Because you just don't see a nigga like Jay-Z being like, oh, my wife gonna leave me because I'm cheating. Oh, well. And this nigga was like, I will travel the 7 seas. I will knock down a mountain for you. Please don't leave me. What did you do, girl? I need the answers. I need the secret. But then I would be like, okay, you being a stan again. Mm-hmm. So I think what I would actually ask, if I could, kind of just a variant of the first example that I gave and what you said, I would want to know, what's the purpose of the human race? Like, why are human beings here?
Okay.
What's the end? What's the end goal? What's the end up? What? Why are we here? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know. It can't just be humans are here to reproduce at a uncontrolled rate and fuck up the earth and then eventually all die. Like, what's the purpose of the human race? That would be my question. And if I got more than one, then I would ask a question about Beyonce and then a question about something else.
Let's see, make sure you get the questions ready. So if the opportunity ever presents itself, you can just quick fire, just toss them out.
Quick fire. Yeah. So that is going to wrap up this episode of Gayside Stories, you guys. Mr. Sicard, I want to thank you for being on the show once again.
Thank you for having me.
Always great to sit and talk with you. We don't do it enough. We definitely need to do it more often.
Yes, we do.
So tell people again where they can find you.
So I'm on pretty much most social media sites. You can find me on Twitter at _BRAN_DON. You can find me on Instagram at BRAN_DON_. Yeah, I'm around. Just tweet me or, send me a friend request. What is this, MySpace? Send me a follow. Shoot me a follow on Instagram and I'll follow back and like photos and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Also plug your photography page.
Oh yeah, can't forget about that. So I'm also a photographer, and my photography page on Instagram can be found at Sicard Photo. That's SICARD PHOTO, all one word.
Okay. Check them out, you guys. Also check out GaysideStories.com. That is where all of the information for the show is. If you want to get in touch with me, you can email me. It's GaysideStories@gmail.com. Follow on social media at GaysideStories, all one word, on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook.com/GaysideStories. And also the discussion group is #GaysidePod. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts if you're not already, you guys that use other podcast platforms. I see you. However, every podcast says this because it's important. Please take a moment to go and rate wherever you can, but definitely go to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating. Leave a review if you feel like typing a little bit. Make me feel good. 5 stars, please. Mm-hmm. No more. I don't want any 1-star woes. If you don't like the show, you don't have to do me the disservice of leaving me a 1-star. That hurts my heart. No, I don't care. Anyway, but if you're gonna do it, leave 5 stars. Also, make sure you're sharing the show with other people that get the word out. I appreciate everyone that does that, and I appreciate people who may see a guest that one of their friends that they like, and then they stick around. Thank you. Y'all are the real MVPs. Thank you again for listening. And as always, remember the lost commandment, you guys. Thou shalt protect thy walls, or you will go to work and some bitch will be asking you all kinds of dumbass questions about your sexuality. All right. And we are out. Bye, guys.
Later.